Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hi, I'm John Stossel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about GDP, CPI, the unemployment rate, and it's going to be in the most current half century, 2005 to 2010. Joining me today will be guest, well-known economist, Melvin Roberts. Good evening, and thanks for having me tonight, Stossel. So, let's talk about these 5 years. As you can see, we've had lots of ups and downs when looking at GDP, CPI, and unemployment rate. For those of you who don't know, Melvin here can explain. The way you're going to calculate GDP, also known as Gross Domestic Product, is a simple formula, C plus I plus G plus X minus N. And then you're going to fill in all the numbers for each variable. Right. So what can you tell us about this GDP graph then? What does it mean?
So what you really need to know about GDP is that essentially it's the total production of an entire country. In this case, America. So that's private and public business goods.
So tell me, why would they go down? What could cause this? What? Why? What everyone wants to know.
Well, you see in the graph that each of the bars increased for almost all of the years except for 2009. So, general, the country was not really producing much, which is generally caused by saving money and not spending it by the consumers, the people, the buyers, they really, they gotta stop putting money in their piggy banks and start spending it. Which is also tied to unemployment.
Well, why don't we take a look at the unemployment graph then? What can you explain here, Melvin? Help me out. Help out America.
Well, you see, in 2009 there was a drop in GDP and exports. These two things, which are both paired with unemployment, look at the increase. It's a boom. It's ridiculous. It's just crazy. Oh, Jesus, yeah?
Well then, how did they figure out these unemployment rates? How can they do this?
Well, you see, it's a simple formula. The unemployment rate, which is equal to the number of unemployed workers divided by the total labour force. Yeah, that's basically it. But what I'm not really understanding, Stossel, is why are you asking me these questions? Why don't you know this?
Well, you're the expert, aren't you?
I was wondering why you didn't know any of it.
Would you like to be part of the unemployed as well, Melvin? Because I will end you.
Whoa, alright then. Let's move on.
During those 5 years, tell me a little about this CPI graph.
So CPI is, CPI is the best measurement of inflation. And the reason why they say it's the best is because it's extremely tough to, calculate inflation. It's up, it's down, it's everywhere. You really can't put a pin right on it. So we've got CPI. It's really, inflation's a continuous change in all countries, not just America. Right, because, you have to take into consideration the changing prices of just anything, for example, a gallon of milk. We're really looking at the market baskets here from 1980 America to 2005 to 2010. What was the market basket for, let's say, gas? A gallon of gas then cost 10 cents. But how much money was there? Not as much as there was now. Not as much, we know that much. So we've got changing prices and also the value of money. Then the American dollar was a boom. It was explosive. It was crikey. Today it's not all that it used to be.
So when CPI was very low in late 2008, what does that mean?
Right. Well, this is going to indicate that inflation was low. so low generally that all prices were a little lower because of less spending caused by unemployment.
What's that sudden spike CPI in 2009? What's the spike all about?
The sudden spike was a result of basically unemployment rates were starting to go down, which was leading to more money being in circulation. You know, you're working more, you're making more money, you have more people working, making more money, getting more money, spending it, you know, not saving it because they don't have a job, by means. And therefore, more money in circulation increases prices, also known as inflation, like we've been talking about today.
I see that, but with less government interference, I'm sure we would not have had those unemployment problems in the first place. Wouldn't have the invisible hand just have worked it out? Why does government always have to come in and then they don't even help a lot of the time? They make the problem worse. Why?
Without our fiscal policy, we would be out of control, Stossel. Us Americans, well, not me, but Americans, America would be in shambles, at least the economy. Stossel, I mean, it's difficult for Americans to take the full responsibility of harvesting an economy on their shoulders without fiscal policy.
Well, how do you know,
the government?
Melvin? Americans have never been given the chance. How do you know they wouldn't rise up and succeed? I mean, look at Hong Kong, for example. Their citizens figured it out.
Right.
Why can't ours?
Hong Kong. Everybody's talking about Hong Kong. But, what you don't realize is, when you see unemployment, when it was high and there was not as much money in circulation, the government made more money available. They made more money available with what? Stossel, the fiscal policy. Nothing would work. How would we make more money without it? It would not work. You can't, it's difficult.
You mean the same fiscal policy that are creating these debts, Melvin? The same ones that are putting the U.S. in crisis? In debt?
You can't, it's difficult.
Well, how can you explain the problems in our current economy? How can the government fix it this time?
The government it's going to increase the money available, leading to more spending and boom in our economy. It's going to be really big. Boom. It's going to be really
well. How about this for you, Melvin? How about some facts? I'll let you know what I know. Why don't we look at Canada? They cut spending and decreased their debt from 68% to 29% in the years 1995 to 2007. That's just 12 years. They've cut it more than half. Why don't we use some of their policies and procedures and do the same thing? Why don't we do that? Can you tell me, Melvin? Huh? Can you tell me? What's your response for that? We need to simply cut spending for our economy, fix it, and repay our national debt. Melvin, what is it? What is it?
I'm done with you, Stossel. You're a complete dick. Blimey.